The update for Lu Bu and Diaochan is finally here, and in this update, there were a few things that changed that were not listed in the patch notes. In this video, we're going to walk through everything we've found so far and how you can start to get value from the things included in this new patch. Hello, my friends, and welcome back. I'm Chiscool Gaming. Today, we're going to help break down everything that changed in this newest patch, and there were certainly a few surprises here. Now, if you like Rise of Kingdoms guides that help you get value and smash your enemies, do me a huge favor. Consider throwing a like on the video, which really does help out the channel and is 100% free to you, and consider subscribing for daily Rise of Kingdoms videos. Now, we're a sponsored content creator, and I always say we find out at the same time that you do that, hey, wait a minute, the skills on these commanders are not the same as the ones that were advertised in-game. In other words, the values for some of these are a good bit higher than what was shown in the artwork we had displayed previously and was displayed in-game. Now, we had a pinned comment on our Lu Bu Diaochan video showcasing exactly what these skills were projected to be, and they have exactly aligned with what was projected. So, Diaochan is actually doing more damage factor than was indicated, which is really exceptional. She's doing 400 damage factor per second for 4 seconds. That's 1,600 damage factor. That is the most damage factor of any epic in the game. It does, however, come with the massive downside of your target having to stand still, which is a huge downside. With that said, Diaochan is a commander that will be purchasable. That's right. When you go to get her sculptures, they come from an event, which the developer said they'd do an event, so you could unlock her for free, and the Intriguing Dancer bundle. Now, once the bundle is come and gone, will they be available in gold keys? I don't know, but I suspect that they will be after some amount of time. Now, with that said, I just want to also point out for a second that Diaochan actually has the least impressive expertise skill of, I think, any epic. She's getting an additional 200 total damage factor spread over 4 seconds. And that's it. That's all she's getting from the expertise skill here. Other epics have way more bonus. In fact, if we look at Boudica, she's gaining 400 damage factor from her expertise skill. If we look at a commander like Herman is getting a damage boost as well, and that damage boost is 400 damage factor, right? So we're used to seeing more damage factor come from an expertise skill, but maybe they're just already saying like, hey, this commander already does a ton of damage. 1,600 damage factor, again, is the most we've seen on any epic. Also noteworthy is Lu Bu. Now, in the original release from Lilith, they indicated he would do 800 damage factor and a 40% defense reduction with the expertise skill, but that's not true. It's actually 1,000 damage factor with a 50% defense reduction for 3 seconds. So the version that they had previously shared was not the actual like maxed out expertise stats. So this is good news if you were interested in potentially exploring these commanders. However, I do want to call something out about the way that defense reduction works in-game, because my assessment of this commander is going to be that how good he is depends a lot on how much you want that 50% defense reduction. Because, hey, like 1,000 damage factor, y'all, that's super unimpressive. Yeah, I know, it hits 3 targets. Okay, that's nice and all, but you're not always going to be hitting 3 targets. So how good this is really depends on how good 50% defense reduction is. I went and did just a little bit of research because a long time ago, I made a video proving that effects like this don't stack up. In other words, if you had an Ethelfled debuff already on the target and then you go and apply the Lu Bu debuff, I would expect Lu Bu's stronger defense reduction to overwrite Ethelfled's defense reduction. And we actually went and we proved whether or not that was still the case. I ran out, I battled a barbarian, and in fact, when we look in the battle log, Hannibal Barca's got a 5-second 25% defense reduction, and Ethelfled has a 2-turn 30% defense reduction. So in the turn before Ethelfled uses her active skill, you can see right up over here, there is a defense reduction of 25%. It's supposed to last for 3 more turns. And on the next turn, Ethelfled has used her skill, and now her defense reduction has overridden the defense reduction of the Hannibal Barca. This all might look complicated, but the simple answer is that, hey, look, Lu Bu might be good because 50% defense reduction is the biggest defense reduction, I think, in the game by a long shot, and it will overwrite, I believe. We don't know because I'm not actually looking at the actual active skill of Lu Bu here. I believe it will overwrite all other defense reductions to say, all right, 50% is now the thing that's being applied. So I think he will be strong for that defense reduction, assuming you value that for something like Ark of Osiris, swarming a garrison. And I think that Lu Bu and Diaochan are going to be gangbuster in the early game. In fact, so much so that if you're in the middle of doing a jumper group right now, depending on what the long-term path is for these commanders being obtained, like, I don't know, you may consider restarting your jumper run when these commanders are not going to be available if you're not interested in going and potentially purchasing them, because the players that are going to be running around with these commanders are going to do really well. And hey, maybe you can just recruit them to your jumper group, and that's an easy solution. Now, one of the hidden updates included in this patch that I don't recall seeing in the notes is that now we have an indicator for when special talent equipment is actually equipped to a commander that is getting that benefit. In other words, you can see in white up over here, the equipment that has the special talent has a little glow, whereas the rest of the equipment is gray. It either doesn't have a special talent or the special talent is not relevant. So you can see those are the three pieces with special talent, and they are glowing white. And if I show you a commander like Joan of Arc over here, a lot of this equipment has a special talent. It is for cavalry. I use her with Takeda and Canyon, and it works astonishingly well. But all of those cavalry special talents don't apply, and the white glow is not present here. Now, on the topic of equipment, there is several new accessories that made their way into Rise of Kingdoms. The notes listed that there will be 4 accessories. Now, those accessories include Ancient Stratagems, which gives 3% troop capacity. Where might this be good? I would argue in the open field. And I guess if you want to put it on a commander where you're stuffing rallies, that's kind of cool. But like, you don't really need tons of extra troop capacity for stuffing rallies now that you can leave a rally and then rejoin it with a different troop type. In addition, they added Wind Scars, 8% march speed for infantry. This is the second item that's sort of giving a hat tip to the fact that, like, hey, infantry, you're slower. Let me help you out here. The first is a set that most people won't obtain, myself included, and that is the legendary infantry set. There's a bonus that gives march speed. That is the 4-piece bonus. However, here we see more infantry march speed, and actually, I suppose there is another set that gives some march speed to infantry. That is, of course, Windswept. The next accessory we should go get a look at is Seth's Call. Now, look, we don't know how any of these accessories are obtained yet, so we're going to talk about that in a second. But the Seth's Call and also the Karok War Drums both are relevant for buffing nearby allies, which I think is a really cool idea for accessories. That means if you're a rally leader or garrison captain, you probably don't want this, all but guaranteed you're not going to want these. However, for everyone else who's field fighting, they seem pretty solid. Now let's get a look here at the material cost. It is 100 legendary materials, and it is a level 40 item compared to some of the other legendary accessories, which are level 45 and do require 20 more legendary materials to craft. 20 materials it's a lot. I get that. However, look, this has to be really good to not just spend 20 more materials to get the item you'd also use for rally and garrison, if that makes sense. So let's just see how good these are. Attacks have a 10% chance to grant 50 rage to 2 nearby allies. Okay, that's actually sick. And this effect can trigger at most once every 3 seconds. So look, personally, right, if I had a choice, 20 more legendary materials for the Horn of Fury, 30% chance to gain 50 rage. That seems really good to me. Buffing nearby allies also seems really good, but the price here is just very, very expensive. I honestly don't know how we're supposed to craft all of these accessories in the game. Maybe we're just supposed to be collecting them for a while, and like over time, they won't add more stuff, and I don't know. That seems unlikely. I think they're adding more patterns than we can possibly craft, and this is going to give people an opportunity to specialize in one thing or another. So choose wisely. I do think that someone bringing something like War Drums is really meaningful for an open field contest. Now, the Seth's Call is doing something similar. 10% chance to grant 2 nearby allies, 10% increased attack for 3 seconds. This effect can trigger at most once every 3 seconds. So I think these are very interesting. They're cool. They're for open field, not for rally leaders and garrison. And for that reason, I generally would, I would really stick to the things that are going to be good if you are the garrison captain and good if you're the rally leader. I don't know how these items are going to work within a coalition. I don't know if they work within coalition or just within alliance for the new Heroic Anthem format of KVK. But either way, these items do look pretty exciting for open field combat. Now, you may be wondering, like, hey, just cool, where are these going to come from? Again, I mentioned they're an event. That event is not listed here. There's some speculation. It'll be with the Lu Bu and Diaochan event. I actually think that these will probably come in 4 separate events, but we'll see. We know that it's not the Heroic Anthem version of KVK because I have an account over there and they didn't show up. So I'm curious to see where these will appear. And in terms of what I'm planning to craft, right now, the plan for me is none of them. My intention is going to be focusing in on things that work for rally or garrison rather than for the open field. It's always worthwhile to go and get a look at the city skins that are available after an update. We do see the Thanksgiving skin is here. Unfortunately, it's modifying attack, not health. I guess every skin can't go and modify health, but my preference is that health is, by my estimation, the best stat in the game. So I think this skin that gives 5% archer attack at the cost of 5% infantry attack may be popular for all-in archer players, but for most players is not the skin that they need to go and obtain. There is also an Ark of Osiris Grand Finals skin, the Summer Palace. This gives 10% archer attack and 3% healing speed. The healing speed is really nice. The archer attack is, we've seen other ways to go and get that. That comes at the cost of cavalry defense. And I do want to point out on the topic of the Ark of Osiris League Grand Finals, it looks like that is actually a separate event from Ark of Osiris League. In other words, League will conclude. The playoffs are actually, for the finals, it's going to be the best team that wins. And I think that the Grand Finals is going to be the 2 realm champions battling each other in a 2 out of 3 contest. So previously I had thought that the finals for Osiris League would be 2 out of 3. It does not look like that's going to be the case. The finals are just going to be like, hey, who wins? Which I really think this should be 2 out of 3, but whatever. And then there's going to be this grand finals, and there's some new city skin that they can go and win. I think the way that we all participate in this is kind of placing some sort of currency on who we think is going to be the winner, but we'll see exactly what happens after the Ark of Osiris finals taking place this Sunday. You're not going to want to miss that. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, consider subscribing, and hey, throw a like on the video. The next thing I want to show you in this patch is related to the city themes, and that is the name plaques that are available. We've got one here for the Dance of Friendship event, so I believe that's Diaochan. The Legendary Dancer, also available, Lu Bu related stuff, and the Thanksgiving Harvest is here. So there's going to be a Thanksgiving event. There's going to be a Thanksgiving bundle. That's coming this next week. I assume this next week is when that should be. And if you're wondering what the Thanksgiving bundle might look like, I've done a bunch of videos in the past on Thanksgiving and the bundles that hit. So if you're curious what those events might be, we don't know, but the previous year's events, I'll have a card up in the top for that. You can watch it after this video finishes. Also, there is an Emerging Phantoms name plaque, which is associated with the Osiris League Grand Finals. So there's some interesting new stuff here from a cosmetic perspective. Also, we go and we look at the avatar frames. Similar story. Strength of the Gods comes from the Dance of Friendship event. So that's the Lu Bu one. Here is the Diaochan version. Here is the Thanksgiving item. And last, I believe, but not least, is the Emerging Phantoms. That is the Osiris League Grand Finals. I believe we've seen the tasseled crown already. I do look pretty good in that tasseled crown, not gonna lie. One massive thing we haven't yet talked about is Chandragupta. I made a whole video about this. They reset his skills back to 0 for whatever you had and gave you sculptures back. They returned your Mightiest Governor sculptures as sculptures of this commander. So I must have had 10 of them to unlock him and another 60 from Mightiest Governor wins. And the remaining sculptures we had applied to him, we got back as universal sculptures. In addition, they compensated players based on the star and sculpture level you had them at. So I got back 50 sculptures, some experience tomes, and 50 dazzling starlight sculptures because I had them fully expertised. Now you may be wondering, like, gosh, what was so off about the description of this commander? Well, actually, if he had been working as described, he would have completely busted up the Attila Takeda meta. And honestly, like, no wonder garrisons were feeling overpowered. You were supposed to have a more powerful commander to deal with the garrisons that are YSS and Theodora. The skills of Chandragupta indicated it was giving attack. It was giving no attack at all. And that's why they went as far as saying, like, hey, here's all your sculptures back that you put into this commander. And here's some extra stuff on top as well, based on how much investment you had. Again, I mentioned in depth in a previous video that I'm not going to put my sculptures back into Chandragupta. I now, however, have 2,417 sculptures. I don't know, man. I got to put these somewhere, and I'm thinking it's going to be Zenobia. Maybe I'll go and drop some sculptures into Ramses and William. That's going to be a lot of fun to do. Man, I'm really glad to have those back. Chandragupta, his performance hasn't changed, and he was still better than Attila Takeda in some circumstances. It's just he wasn't as good as he was advertised, I think, is the issue here. In other commander news, there is a short video now for Saladin. And honestly, the video for Saladin, it's pretty cool looking. We'll fire that up. It does look pretty sweet. I like these short animations. What's the story that's being told here? I feel like it's that Saladin is a master of the sands, right? Because these aren't actually people. They're like sand creations that dissolve, right? So, like, I don't know. I thought it was a pretty cool video. Like when they add stuff like that. A few other minor updates here. Zenobia should now correctly display that she is giving the 30% increased damage as well on the expertise skill. It now lists that. Harold had a little text update as well, that he gives 5% defense per stack of this ability rather than the scaling. I think it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5% defense reduction. So that's fine. And one other cosmetic change, if we head over to our $750 account for Heroic Anthem. Yeah, we spent $750 to get to City Hall 25. That was a fun video. So in this account, we can show you the new look of the Crystal Mine, which is here, and also the Crystal Research Center. Yeah, they look cool. They look cool. We took a quick look around at like rewards, and we didn't initially see anything different in the Hall of Heroes, or we didn't see anything different from the Bastion's view. We didn't see anything different in the shop. So it seems like things are mostly the same here. Other minor changes include the fact that now the newspaper is only going to cost you 1,000 gold instead of 10 gems. There it is, 1,000 gold to get the newspaper. I suppose I can afford that. There is supposed to be an additional bundle, and I couldn't find it. I see the Conqueror's Will, and as I scroll through here, I see resource reserves, which we're used to, but they did indicate there was a special harvest bundle that is not yet here, and it's supposed to be a KVK-related bundle. Maybe it's a regular KVK and not Heroic Anthem KVK bundle. And if I look in, there is theoretically a new 7-day supply. Theoretically. But I feel like these supplies were all here before. I don't know. This is one of those things where I rush to make a video and I figure it out later. There'll be a pinned comment if I figure out exactly what they were referring to when they indicated in here that there is a limited edition 7-day supply, one for each food, wood, stone, and gold. Maybe it's not here yet. It'll be available for rotation in your kingdom for a limited time. I guess maybe it's not in this kingdom. Okay. Well, we figured that one out. However, I can't seem to find this bundle, the Bumper Harvest, a limited time Lost Kingdom super value resource bundle. Honestly, like, I wouldn't buy a resource bundle anyways. I just farm my resources. You got to be a mega whale, like a mega whale to be buying resources. That's not a thing I can afford. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, throw a like on it here and consider subscribing for daily Rise of Kingdoms videos. The like really helps out the channel. And like, hey, like, look, you don't like the videos, cancel your subscription later. So subscribe now so you don't miss out on future good stuff, all right? If you're looking for something else to watch and are interested in Heroic Anthem KVK, I'll have a playlist up in the top that's got every video we've done so far, including when we spent that $750 to power up from City Hall 18 to 25 in literally about 5 hours. Until next time, my friends, you have fun smashing the kingdom. And hey, leave a comment down below with what you think about this update and if there's anything we missed.